Hey everyone, it's Miranda. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, for the first time, why don't you subscribe? Become the newest member of the Slashed Squad. Here I review products you won't feel guilty buying and do looks you can actually recreate at home. Today I'm stoked because I just got all these products in the mail literally yesterday and I had to dive right in and film kind of a first impression review for you. Plus we're gonna have a mini tutorial thrown in as well, so stay tuned if you wanna learn more about the Covergirl Peach Punch collection. So this collection just dropped, but you will be able to find it at your local Walmart soon. It is a Walmart exclusive. So the Peach Punch collection from Covergirl is definitely giving me a little bit of drugstore vibes of the Too Faced Peach collection that came out last summer. But Peach has been having a moment all year, so it was just about time for it to hit the drugstore. So not only do we have a peach theme in terms of the shades in this collection, but yes, all of the products are peach scented. So that's very exciting. It's definitely part of the allure of this type of collection. So let me show you the products that I have here from the collection. First, I have the True Naked Peach Punch eyeshadow palette. Now, you all know that I am a huge fan of the Covergirl True Naked palettes. The True Naked Nudes palette is one of my very favorites at the drugstore that I always recommend to people who are looking for just a very good staple palette from the drugstore. They also have a Roses palette, they have a Golds palette, they have a Smoky palette. All of their True Naked palettes, in my opinion, are some of the best shadows that you can find at the drugstore. They are incredibly soft, blendable, pigmented, and a lot of the shimmer or satin shades can be applied wet for an ultra metallic look. So with all of that said, that definitely applies to the Peach Punch palette as well. As the name suggests, all of these shadows do lean on the peachy or pink side, but we do have some neutrals to help balance the look, such as this cream shade, this dark brown, and then we have kind of a warm medium brown over here, and that will help you kind of finish off the look and not overwhelm with too much pink so that you can still create dimension within your look. A few things that I think Covergirl does really well with their True Naked palettes, the reason why I think they're some of the best you can get at the drugstore, is that they do such a good job at balancing the shades within each palette. You can obviously see the lighter shades, what you'd use for a transition. We have a really good balance between finishes as well, which is so important to me. We have an even amount of mattes and then shimmer slash satin shades, so you will have everything you need to complete multiple full looks just with this palette. As far as the color scheme, you do have your light shades to really bring things forward and highlight, and then we have our obvious darker ones in our transition shade for creating dimension. I'm gonna go ahead and show you swatches now. So here is what the palette looks all swatched up. The pigmentation is definitely there, the shades are buildable, and they're so blendable. They work really, really well in the eye, and I just find it so easy to work with these palettes. So I'm gonna show you how I did this peachy cut crease smoky eye today with the Peach Punch palette. So I primed the eye using the new Covergirl Lid Lockup Primer. Then I dipped into the cream shade and just laid that down as my base. Then I used the matte peach shade as my transition, so I blended that in and above my crease, really diffusing that out. Then I took a little bit of the warm medium brown, put that on my outer corner and kind of the outer half of my lid. Then using the dark cool brown, I packed that on my outer corner and in my crease for dimension. Then I cut my crease using the Covergirl Outlast All Day Concealer. Then I wet my brush so when I applied the shimmery champagne pink, it would come out super metallic and bold. Then I just popped that cream shade in my inner corner just as kind of a subtle highlight. I added dramatic wing liner and then topped my lashes off with the new Covergirl Flourish by Lash Blast Mascara, and that is the look. Honestly, there were no surprises here with this palette. It lived up to all the other True Naked palettes that I love. Plus, I love this color scheme. It's very spring and summery, very light and bright and feminine. Now, I would say with this palette, it leans more daytime. You can definitely get, you know, maybe one solid nighttime look using the purpley mauve and the dark brown. But overall, this definitely gives me spring and summer daytime vibes. Also, just to note, maybe like the one con that I have, not just with this, but with most of the True Naked palettes, is that the shimmery shades do tend to get a little bit crumbly in the packaging, so you might get a little bit of dustiness in here and it can translate to fallout on the face. I didn't experience it a lot with this palette, especially because the shimmery shades are on the lighter side, so they were just easy to kind of brush off and not have to worry about any like smudging. And as for the scent, There's definitely a peach fragrance here on the shadows, but it is very subtle, and I've noticed it getting more subtle as I've been using it and have had the palette open. But it never started out strong to begin with, so if you are a little bit scent sensitive, I don't think this would be too big of an issue. I mean, like for me, when things have like a really strong artificial scent, I'm just like, no, get it out or off of my face, but this didn't bother me in the least bit. And like I said, it's getting kind of weaker as I have it open and as I'm, you know, taking the shadows and kind of breaking the surface. So I don't know if it's just like a spray over scent or what, if it's going to completely fade. But yeah, I've had this open for one day and it's already gone down a lot. All right, let's move on to the Peach Punch face products. So we have one complete palette here. It is called the Covergirl Peach Punch Highlighter Palette, but it does look kind of just like a contour, blush, and highlight palette all in one. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to have different versions of these or if it's just gonna be these colors that they sell, because as you can tell, the bronzer and or contour in this palette is pretty light. So I decided to put this contour to the test by using it today on my face. Now, I could see it on my skin. However, it had kind of a weird rosy undertone to it where it almost looked like I was applying blush where my contour should be, even though I was using what seems like a contour shade. But yeah, it almost had a peachy vibe in and of itself where I don't necessarily know how I would use that if not contour, and I didn't really like how it looked as a contour. Like if you look at my face now, for me, I feel like it looks like I'm wearing mostly blush and highlight, but it definitely did give me a little bit of definition. Perhaps if you are on the fairer side, you might get more of that effect that a contour normally would provide. But as like a light medium skin tone, this didn't really give me a lot to work with. As far as the blush in this palette, this one again was a little bit light for me. I did not use it on my face today, but here I will show you a swatch of all three shades in this palette. Yeah, it's definitely like an icy pink, would look better on fair skin tones in my opinion. And then the highlight I do like. It's a really pretty sheeny silvery pink that I think would look great across skin tones. And for me, this does have a little bit less glitter than the standalone highlight that I'm about to show you. Again, we have a peach scent in the palette, but it is very subtle. You really have to like stick your nose in it to smell it. Okay, so lastly, let's move on to the individual face compacts. So we do have two blushes here. Now, I can't for the life of me find like what the individual names of these are, but they do have numbers. So we have 120, which is kind of on the lighter, maybe more natural peachy side. And then we have 130, which is just a tiny bit darker. And here you can see swatches. 130 is definitely more appropriate, in my opinion, for my skin tone. But I was really surprised with how pigmented it was. So I did use it on my face today. And as you can see here, as I'm applying, I just went for it and it was way more color than I expected. But of course, if you blend it out, you can get it to soften up. It is a matte blush, which I like because especially if you are layering on a strong highlight over it, it does give you a little bit more of variety in the face. When you start getting to have too much shimmer on the skin when it comes to like your blush and your highlight, you just get a lot of texture that gets picked up with that. So it's not necessarily my favorite thing. I do tend to stick to matte blushes. So these are definitely ones that I will be using for sure. Same story with the scent on the blushes. You really have to get in there to smell them, and I do not smell the scent as I'm applying the blush to my face. Okay, finally we have the Peach Punch highlighter. And this one's got a lot of shimmer in it. I did try to kind of dust off the top to see if it was a spray over, and it actually seems like the glitter goes all the way through the product, which may be great to you. I know sometimes when I buy something thinking it's gonna look one way and then it ends up being a spray over, I'm like, oh, okay, great. But you guys know I don't like a lot of like actual chunky glitter in my makeup, but I will say that when you do start applying this, you get more of a sheen than you do the noticeable glitter, but the glitter's there, don't get me wrong, but it does have enough of that sheen, like it doesn't just rely on the glitter to give you that highlight, so that way when you catch the light, you get like a very even beam, and that's definitely important to me when it comes to highlight. Now this was the one product that as I was applying it, I could actually smell it, and even in the compact, this one had the strongest scent out of all of them. That will probably diminish over time, just as the others have as I've been using them or keeping it open. But that's just something to note, is that out of all of them, this one definitely had the strongest of the scents. But aside from that, I really do like the highlight effect that I get from this palette. I think you have kind of that strobiness going on. It's definitely noticeable and buildable. You can really get the drama out of this. Also, I noticed that it's not really accentuating too much of my skin texture, which I very much appreciate. And this is the finished look using mostly the new Covergirl Peach Punch products. I really like using rosy tones on my face and on my eyes, and peach definitely falls under that umbrella of shade family. So I'm really, really into this collection. So as I said earlier in the video, this collection is Walmart exclusive, and they do have another collection that is chocolate themed that's gonna be Walmart exclusive as well. With that said, I don't know if they're limited edition or they're gonna be permanent Walmart products. If you have the scoop on that, let us all know in the comments below. So what do you all think of the new Covergirl Peach Punch collection? Let me know, share your thoughts in the comments. Hey everyone, so I'm currently editing the video that you just watched, but I wanted to let you know about this cool new app that I'm on that will allow you all to chat me, call me, or video message me. It's called Instant Go. It's available on iPhone and Android, and from there, we can hang out and chat. I'm also offering services like video makeup lessons, makeup consultations via chat, as well as an Instagram or YouTube review if you are an aspiring beauty influencer. I'm gonna leave the link to download the app below, and the first 20 people to sign up with the code BEAUTY will get a $5 credit towards chatting, calling, or any of my services. Okay, back to my outro. If you want to see more reviews from me, hit the thumbs up and definitely give me a shout at what products you really want to learn more about. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, become the newest member of the Slashed Squad. If you've done that, high five, hit the bell icon so you know every time a new video goes live. I will see you in my next one. Bye!